I'm going to show you how to add notes to the G minor pentatonic scale in order to create a funk groove. And you may notice that I'm using a 12-string guitar here. Okay, I've decided to use my 12-string today because it sounds funky to me. And here's my G minor pentatonic scale ordinarily. Okay, so the first note I'm going to add is, after my minor third here, is the next note up. It's called the major third. Alright? And I'm going to kind of bend to that note when I get there in the song, so it'll sound something like this. But if you wanted to, you could play some kind of groove like that where you're sliding to the note rather than bending to it. Alright, so on the A string and the D string are going to stay the same. We're not adding any extra notes to these. And then when I get to my G string, okay, here's my minor third again. Now if I play this minor third note at the same time as I play my root, which is G here on my thumb, you may hear that has a minor sound to it. That's because the minor third is the note that makes a chord minor. Now if I take that minor third, I move it up a half step here, what I'm going to get is my major third. That's the note that makes chord sound major. See, that sort of sound. So often what I'm doing here in this groove is I'm taking notes from the major scale and I'm adding them to my minor scale. So I'm taking notes from G major and I'm adding those notes into my G minor. And this is a technique that's very common in funk, blues, and also jazz. Alright, so after my major third here, that's the next note of the scale. Now I go to this note here, and I'm going to add my major 6 right here. That's a very funky interval, and that's right next to my minor 7 there. Back to my root. There's my G. Here's my minor third again. Okay, so just like we did on the low E string, we can use that extra kind of B natural note up there. And I can bend to it if I like. Alright, so I've added major thirds and major sixths to my G minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to play through this song that I've been writing, which I have not finished yet, just to show you how I've dealt with this. And I'm going to play it very slowly, so you can either learn the song as I've written it, or you can take the intervals that I've added to the scale and use those to create your own groove. Okay, so here we go. And now if I speed that up, this is what it's really supposed to sound like. And what I'm going to do here after playing through it a few times, I'm going to sing a verse from one of my songs. What you hear there is, now I have one rhythm going on in my guitar, and when I sing over it, I'm adding an additional vocal rhythm. So another characteristic of funk is multiple rhythms that are layered on top of each other, different rhythms. And if you can do that, you can create some good grooves that are very danceable as well. Okay, so here we go. Anybody know why we're gonna strike? Hide, don't show what we don't want to hide. Nobody knows the truth and nobody lied. Got all time, but now our time inside. And I guess I won't change my mind again. Alright, so there's a little bit of that piece. Another thing I like to do when I'm playing funk and creating funk grooves is modulate. Modulation is a fancy word for changing keys. Alright, so I'm going to, in my song, I'm moving from a G minor pentatonic formation up to a B flat minor pentatonic formation, and then I'm adding my funky intervals to both of those, and I'm alternating back and forth between those two keys. So it sounds something like this. Okay, so I hope you've learned something today. Take it, and good luck.